People, I'm slowly becoming the most important and best energy healer in the world. And today we're gonna make a video which is absolutely revolutionary. And I cannot state this enough. So if you have the time, take your time to understand this video. You will be blown away. So as you know, testosterone in men is very important. In general, it's important for cell function, but a lot of other things. And testosterone is going to be one major aspect of what I'm going to talk about, but there's much more. So, let's start with the first thing. Your health, your power as a man depends on your testicles. If your testicles don't function, that's why it's also in some languages, like Spanish, they talk about, cojones, or in having balls, we use those kind of expressions not realizing what they mean energetically. And I'm going to explain to you how to activate all of this energy and create a completely new you. I'm not kidding on this one. So, there's a lot of dynamics at play. I'm going to explain them. The first dynamic is that nowadays, it's very hard to feel masculine for men. Even for masculine men to feel masculine, because there's so much pressure in terms of the women changed a lot, society changed a lot, the workplace changed a lot, psychology changed a lot. And I'm gonna explain a couple very, very, very interesting things. So, in the body, you have chi flowing. That's why you call it qigong, or prana called in yoga. And you have the nadis, the energy channels, which go through, basically, which are being distributed through the chakras. And go through all of your body, your aura, your tissues and everything, and keep you healthy. Keep basically that life force alive in you. And the absolute core of this, the nuclear reactor of this, is your testicles. And if they don't function, then it sends a whole bunch of problems into your whole energy system. And if you feel that you are with your masculinity not where you should be, and it's like a psychological, I call this psychoenergetic field. There's a psychoenergetic component to this. And if you don't feel masculine, or you feel compromised in some form, or you have some kind of energy blockages, it's going to send havoc through your system, and it's going to create inflammation. It's going to create constant inflammation, chronic inflammation. It's going to create a lot of subsequent problems, to the point where it could become even dangerous. And the way to solve this is looking at your testicles. And I found through deep meditation 3 or 4 exercises, which are not very unlike some things you would find in yoga or qigong, but are still more specific than what's being proposed in modern yoga, modern qigong. So one of these exercises is called energy rotation. Energy rotation is basically visualizing an energetic hand within your energy system, say for example within your root chakra, sacral chakra, to stimulate the nadis, especially the 3 more important nadis, Ida, Sushumna, Pingala nadi. But we're going to do something here that nobody ever thought about or talked about, that completely revolutionizes your energy system and health and energy healing, and it should actually revolutionize the whole health field for men. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold your testicles with your hand, both of them with your left hand, just cup them, and then you imagine that from the center of your testicle, pick left or right in the beginning, pick right because that's usually where the most problems are, because right side has to do with masculine energy, left side with feminine energy, but it could be either way. You figure out what your bigger problem testicle, so to speak. And then you go into the center of the testicle, visualizing it. So kind of like a meditative, psychoenergetic, attention to the center of your testicle. And then you imagine that you have like an energetic finger that's coming from the center and circling around your testicle. But coming from the center, always from the center, but circling in different like circumferences. So you're like going this, like imagine you're like visualizing like this and changing the outside position basically as you're rotating. You're visualizing that. And you keep normal breathing, you keep your attention there, and you do that for a long time. Maybe 20-30 minutes. At least 2 or 3 times per day. What it does is you're actually activating, because the eye's position is changing very subtly without you noticing. The eye's position is changing, and your whole psychoenergetic field is changing, and your Ida Pingala nadis, the left and right energy channels, the most important ones, are actually being stimulated to target this area, to send energy there. And what's going to happen is that unresolved emotions, problematic emotions, lower vibration emotions like anger, resentment, shame, all of these things, they're going to start to be released. And the longer you do it, the more it gets released. And it can be very tough. And what happens is that as the chi starts flowing there, your testosterone and your manliness and your energy is going to go through the roof. And your whole energy system, including your colon, your ascending colon, your descending colon, your root chakra, sacral chakra, your solar plexus, your stomach, everything is going to realign. The bacteria in your intestines, everything is going to realign. Because it's mostly determined by this type of energy, what kind of bacteria is present. Because certain types of bacteria needs a certain type of energy. And as soon as you change the energy, the bacteria changes. And then everything, your microbiome, everything becomes better. Literally. Give this a try. And you will see it will completely revolutionize your psychoenergetic field. The rotation of your testicles, do both of them obviously. Rotation of your testicles. And you have to get proficient in this. In the beginning it might be hard to visualize this, especially coming from the center and rotating around the testicle from the center. And try different rotations. And I give you one big piece of advice. If there's any place that feels like there's tension, there's something that needs to be looked at, like keep rotating at that place more until something is released, and then report back to me.